Hello, greetings and salutations. Welcome back to the BFC. This is the most exciting video I'm ever going to make about Ilus. I'm just kidding. It's not, because I know the price action sucks. I know the share price in general just sucks, being down here in the fours. But my conviction with the company has not wavered one bit. This is a time to add. And you know what? Some of you are very excited and you're adding more down here. Do I think that this is a reflection of the company itself? Obviously not. Ilus right now is like the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde of the OTC. You know, it just is what it is. So what can you do? I want to get to a couple of their most recent tweets and talk a little bit about Qind and just sort of finish up my thoughts on where we're at. And I know a lot of you guys are waiting for things to finally start moving, and I think it's going to take some time. I do think the when you zoom out and look at everything that's happening in the world with what's going on with our economy, inflation, just in general, the world's a crazy place these days. So we have to take those things into consideration because that they do affect people and how they invest their money, and they affect the overall markets. It's just a fact. And I'm not creating excuses for the share price, but it's an unfortunate fact. And you guys could debate me on that, but the economy has not been favorable to the majority of companies' share price. So let's get into this. I want to just first go to a couple of their tweets. Let's see. All right. Ilus International, March 31st, they did file an extension for their 10K. It said, and this will be filed ASAP next week due to professional services time constraints. We opted to first file the 10K for our significant consolidated subsidiary, Qind. And I think that's important. You want to make sure that the foundation is taken care of before, I mean, I don't know. I wish, to be honest, I wish it all came out at once, but I see why they got one of their key points for the foundation of this company. They wanted to make sure that 10K was squared away. And you know what? It was a very good 10K. So that's a very positive thing for Ilus. And guess what? Like I said before, it's just one leg of the spider. It's a very good thing. There was some drama going on with this company earlier this week. Yes, there was a yield sign, and it shouldn't have been there. And all it took was a call from JP. He tends to have that effect on the OTC. This did happen before, and he got results within 24 hours just as well. So it says here, this was 2 days ago. We have spoken with OTC markets who have confirmed that the current Ilus yield sign is an error on their part. They're updating their system, which could take up to 24 hours to reflect. And guess what? They did that, and voila, the yield sign came off. I wish that would happen with many other companies. But you know what? It was obviously an honest mistake on the OTC markets, not on Ilus. So let's go on and talk a little bit about Qind. And Eagle really, he sums this up very nicely here. So I'm just going to put his tweet right here. Qind. All right. Let me just make sure I got this up and away here. All right. Revenue to 2022, 65.6 million. Annualized Q4 run rate of 113 million. The 2023 forecast of 148 million. Net profit 2022, 6.8 million. Annualized Q4 run rate 10.4 million. 2023 forecast 20 million plus. Total assets 200 million. And he reminds you here, Ilus acquired the majority of this company, 77%. And this happened on May 28th. This is how long it takes for you guys to really see how this can affect them. And so that was almost a year ago. And now look, now Ilus gets to report all this revenue, and it's absolutely remarkable. Now put this in perspective. That's just Qind, and they have a lot of work orders, and they're set to expand. All right. Not to mention, I think they're working on other acquisitions as well. Now you talk about ERT, the other subsidiary, the other leg of the spider. All right. They're working on what could be a $60 million acquisition. Then you got to talk about Hyperion. Then you got to talk about Replay Solutions. There is a method to the madness. And I'm telling you right now, while we could all be disappointed and moan and groan about the share price, which I will tell you sucks, but it is what it is. Trust me, there's a lot of things that suck right now. I know you guys, hey, what really sucks bad? Put it down in the description below, and don't say the show. Well, if you want to say the show, you could say the show. Freedom of speech. Listen, I won't judge anybody. Say whatever you want. But listen, I'm just trying to look at it from a perspective of this is a time for me to add more. I'm going to be adding more Ilus when I get the opportunity, when I have that cash flow to throw in there. And you know what? Hopefully I could get in this low. Maybe it's going to dip a little lower. Maybe it won't. But I think this is a perfect place to add because it really doesn't reflect that of the company. So, that's really what I wanted to bring to the table today, and say basically this is a company that's evolving during a recession or pending recession or whatever we're allowed to call it these days. It is what it is. So I like to see that they're making progress. Yes, I know we talked about the Serbian deal not going through. You know what? There's a lot of conditions going on in the world that are affecting their ability to execute certain things. But it's not like the company just stops acquiring and stops doing and stops bringing in revenue. Look, they're doing it. They're proceeding forth. They're not letting all these things set them back. They're just moving on. They're doing what they got to do. They're going to move strong with ERT. I think we're going to get news on that soon. I do. I hope that once the ILS annual report comes out, I could have JP on and he could answer some questions that I have in regards to ERT. I want to pry a little bit more about that. I want to pry about the share buyback, not the share buyback. I'm sorry, share lockup. Sorry, misquoted. All right, but it happens sometimes. But there are some questions I have for him, and I know that you guys do too. If you have a question for JP, put it in the comment section, and I will try to answer it or ask it. He'll do the answering. All right, but listen, that's all I got. I mean, it's a waiting game, and this is when patience comes into play. This is when people are going to get successful. They're going to say, "I remember back in 2023 when I bought Ilus for 4 cents." This isn't financial advice. I'm not telling you to buy it now. I'm telling you my perspective. My perspective is, and I'm not just referring to Ilus, there's a lot of companies out there that are undervalued. Look at CYBL, look at DVLP, look at all these companies that are adding revenue and building a network. And look where their share price is. Many undervalued companies out there, companies that are SEC reporting, companies that aren't diluting. I got to say, Ilus is maintaining its share structure rather nicely for all that they're adding. It's unbelievable. It's great. So hang in there. You know what? If you're holding a bag, well, get a drink to accompany yourself. Because it's gonna probably be a while before this economy fully returns to a bull market. That's all I got. I look forward to having Sam Aker on in the next week or two to start breaking down these filings, breaking down the 10Ks. I look forward to having Gene Keisel from IGPK back on to answer some questions for shareholders. They've their share price is up 200% as of recent, so they're on a run. But it looks like they have another acquisition in the works, and things are the mood's starting to change over there at Integrated Land. So that's all I got. Things are happening. I have a lot in the works for the show, guys. As always, thank you for your support. Hit the subscribe button. I'm just keeping it real. I hope you guys have a great day. Remember, there's more that binds us than breaks us. Peace out, guys.